Little Dara wasn't the smart math kid in school. He got mediocre grades.
What Steven said, he said we got beaten math.
When he did put a lot of effort into school, it usually ate up so much time of his day that gave him not enough time to do the things he actually wanted, like making this YouTube channel, working on himself, and just living life. By you clicking this video, you also want the same thing that I want. You are also more alike to me than you think. We both want to get rid of the annoying shit so we can focus on the important things in our life, our friends, our family, our relationships, our intrinsic fulfillment with hobbies and crafts, my YouTube channel that I'm trying to start, my body. I'm trying to improve everything, man. So you wanting to work smarter and just educate yourself, you should feel good about yourself that you want these things, because most people are just they don't have the level of awareness that they want to drastically lower their time. Because I swear, like, half of these students spend 12-hour days studying on the weekends. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. Nah, you shouldn't be doing that. Now, today I'm going to give you a full walkthrough on literally how to, like, minimize your time in a crazy amount. This is no, like, clickbait shit. This will reduce your time drastically. Now, the first things that we'll look into is discipline, mental health. These are two prerequisites, right? These things make up 80% of the results. 20% of the things you do make up 80% of the results. So mental health is really important if you want clarity, you want discipline. I recommend meditating for at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes every single day. You can start with 5 minutes, slowly build it up. I recommend this app called Medito. You can just start using it right away when you download it. Meditate every morning. This will help you get shit done faster because you're able to go into the flow state and gain momentum easier. That's why I recommend improving mental health, so your mind is clear and you're able to focus at the task at hand. Now, the main misconception is people spend 12 hours a day studying. Now, studying smart, this is the one rule that I always live up to, studying smart. So how do you study smart, right? This is what you wanted to know, right? How do you study smart? This is why you clicked on this video. Now, the first thing is deep work. In order to start getting easy momentum when you start working, you just want to start getting into the flow state and just start working. To have this, you need to organize your environment to make sure that it doesn't distract you at all, right? So, for example, in school, it's quite a bad negative environment because we're constantly distracted by teachers every 10 minutes, you know. We walk into school, we walk into the lesson, 15 minutes of her talking, and then everyone's like talking as well. So there's friends distraction as well. And don't get me wrong, I really do like school for the social aspect, but efficiency wise, you're probably not going to be efficient in school because there's lots of distractions. The environment's not really that good. So the only thing that we can do, if your environment is good in the classroom, it's really quiet, no one's talking, perfect, you can start doing deep work. But I don't think that the school gives us enough time. It gives us like 55 minutes, and the first 15 minutes the teacher's talking, bring us through the lesson, and it just really stops our momentum. They stop us mid-lesson. So it's more like 30 minutes of proper deep work, or 20 minutes, right? What I recommend for you is to front load all the research things that require deep work, right? So do all the shallow tasks, do all like the easy work, you know, things that don't require like focus and concentration, but really set up the focus and concentration part for after school and start doing all the things that are like very shallow tasks, right? All right, for example, let's say you're in a classroom, you're quite distracted, you know, it's very hard to start doing these work. And let's say you have to do an assignment. This assignment, I assume, requires research. So what I recommend to you is to find all the research material beforehand, because most likely you're probably not going to be able to read it. Like just collect all the research links, make a Word document, put all the research links in that Word document. Then when you get home, then you can decipher and read all the stuff and then write down the notes. This saved me a lot of time. I can just say that. Just collecting the research for each dot point of the assignment. Then when you go home, you have the information already set. You don't need to go through the researching. Just click the links and then you open it and you start typing, you start reading, and it's just easy. It's just there. Now, the second thing is schedule. When we have routine, it's easier to get into the flow state when we're studying and gain momentum. I recommend having a 1 hour work session at home as soon as you get home. I know it can be like because you want to relax and shit, but once you get that shit out of the way, then you can start focusing on the important things like your channel, your business, whatever, your gym. Just get the stuff out of the way so you can focus on what's important to you. Now, another thing is that if there are like completely like waste periods at school where they're just free periods where you do whatever you want, or like a period where the teacher doesn't really teach much and you just go off for your own and do stuff, take full advantage of those, honestly, because they are amazing. Like, no distractions. Like, maybe it's just a substitute teacher. You know, they'll just tell you check online lesson, right? Those are like the best lessons to like get into deep work fast, because each period for me has 55 minutes, and when I come in, you know, it takes like 7 minutes, 5 minutes for the students to go in toilet and stuff like that. And then after that, the teacher talks for 15 minutes and then starts reading. We get bored and stuff like that. Then we get interrupted halfway in the lesson. So it's only like 20 minutes of real work. So if you have those lessons where they're just like 55 minutes where the teacher doesn't interrupt you, you know, it's quiet as hell, and they're like free, bro. Those lessons are so free for you. You can get so much stuff done. So take full advantage of like the waste periods, honestly. Now, the third thing is to prioritize certain subjects. I would say prioritize the subject that takes more time to learn, because we're not as good at it. For example, for me, that would be English, because I'm pretty bad at it. But for math, I'm not that bad at it, so it's easier for me to do math and English, right? But also prioritize what has the most value. I recommend prioritizing like the things that have a lot of value, a lot of weight to it. For example, if this assignment is 30% worth 30% of your whole grade, right? For your whole year, I recommend you just start doing that immediately, compared to like the homework that has nothing to do with your course, you know, it has no relevance to the course. You don't need it for the test. It doesn't relate to the test, just extra, you know. So really prioritize like what's important. Like, you know, for number 1, let's say my business report, you know, number 2, then it's my English essay, number 3, then it's the revise for my math test, you know. Make an order of what's important, what's the most hardest, what's the most important, and do those things and get them out of the way first. Then you worked from hard to easy. Then you can do your fun things at the bottom after. Because some of the hardest subjects, some of the longer assessments that take up a lot of time, that I just don't know what the hell is happening. I'm not knowledgeable in some of these subjects, right? So I got to spend more time just like reading, you know, just spending more time on the subject than I would with another subject where I'm more knowledgeable. I don't really need to research as much because I really understand it well. So it all comes down to what you lack and what you need to prioritize, and what subject and what assessment has more weight to it, has more priority than the other worksheets that are not really important and don't really take up much value in the course. Now, these things will change you for like these things that you can easily apply like right now. I recommend using RemNote, which is a software that basically uses your notes, right? You write down notes and it turns it into flashcards for revision. That is crazy that there's a software that can do that, right? For example, let's say chapter 1, then you outline this thing in chapter 1, this, you know, a micro chapters in the chapter 1, and then it will create flashcards for you with spaced repetition, right? So it will randomize everything. Also, there's feedback to the spaced repetition flashcards where you say, you know, I forgot this one, I remember this one easier. So it will show you the flashcards that you struggle with more, that you kind of forget more. And this just made it easier for me, like just to revise for like any history content, heavy content based subject that requires a lot of revision. This would be good for people who do science and stuff. So I recommend doing that. Also, another thing that I recommend that will literally cut your time in half is using this website called Quillbot.com. Now, Quillbot is basically a website that paraphrases sentences for you, which creates authentic, different, revised versions of copied and paste text, right? Let's say you copy and paste this definition of this word. It's really long, right? You don't want to summarize it yourself, but you understand it, right? You understand it, you know what it is, but it will take a lot of time to summarize it and write it in your own words, because the current definition is really good. You can use Quillbot.com, you can copy and paste the definition of it, and it will revise another definition of it in a different wording, but the same meaning, and it will still make sense. This really helped me just for like everything as well. Now the third thing that I use to get me in the flow state easier, to get like start getting momentum easier, is to listen to white noise. Now, this is a bit weird because I'm not sure if anyone talks to this, but Bro, this has literally helped me get into the flow state so much easier. You just listen to white noise. You go on YouTube. I'll put it in the description. You go on YouTube, right, and you search a white noise, and then it's just basically like static noise, but it gets you in the flow state. For me, it got me in the flow state really easy. Just put me in the state, and I just started working. And I'm hella efficient, I just get into it. So the white noise really helped me a lot. It's just a simple trick that you can add to your studies when you start working. Now, I hope I gave you some like awesome information or value that you can use and minimize your amount of time so you can focus on what's important in your life. You can focus on your relationships. You can focus on your self-development. You can focus on your craft, your hobbies, or your YouTube channel. Minimizing your studies in school and working smart really just gave me a lot of breathing room, a lot of time to just do whatever I want. And I hope you are able to achieve that. My name is Darius. Subscribe, ding the notification bell, or don't ding it if it distracts you. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.